What is going on, you guys? Welcome to today's video. The weather isn't looking super promising, but I think we'll have, or hopefully have, enough time to do what I want to do today on the wagon. You know, I feel like today might not be the best day for this, but we're supposed to have like a tropical storm Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so the whole week is rain. So today's my only real day to do this, but it's not looking too promising. Aside from that though, having both Jettas out looks pretty cool. And at some point, everyone's been asking, I do need to go down to the compound, see the Savoy, see the Pink Floyd, see Miley, and then eventually when I have the space to do it, we can have Mark II, Mark III, and Mark IV, and to see all the cars together, which I'm really hyped for. So the plan for today, up here and this right there, that's the front bumper. Over here is the rear lip, and then somewhere I have these side skirts, but I want to test fit the full Zender kit I have for the wagon. If you guys remember, that car had shipped out of Germany to the States before all the pieces to my Zender body kit had actually showed up. So if you don't know, I have a full, well, almost a full Zender body kit for the wagon, which is crazy to find all those pieces because there's only a handful of the front bumper I've ever seen. This is a new old stock wagon rear lip, which is crazy to find in itself, and I have the side skirts. There's also a rear hatch spoiler, which I do have a Euro hatch back over there for the wagon at some point, but I have majority of the pieces for this car. The goal is to hopefully make a Zender brochure car out of this one. Not exactly, but a lot of the pieces I want to have for this car. I want to find the pedals and the shift knob. There is a muffler as well, which is really, really cool, and a hatch spoiler that I don't have. There is a set of wheels the car had, which I don't necessarily want, and a set of springs the car also had on it. They're also from Zender, but I don't want to have every single piece. It'll be like my own Zender brochure concept car, but not all the way, but a lot of pieces at the same time. So before I test fit all those pieces, I'll give you a walk around of the current setup on the wagon. If you don't know and you're new, this is an 01 Jetta VR6 wagon with a manual, good old 12 VR6. This is a US spec car I found in Germany, very, very rare find. There are more Jetta wagons over there besides this one, but again, just to find this one when I was looking for one, very, very unique find. Super glad to have the car. Currently, we have the Rieger front lip down on the front. Makes the front end look super aggressive. It's very similar to the 4Motion front lip, but a bit more aggressive, and I just love how it makes the front end look. Currently, no side skirts. I was gonna do an OEM set of side skirts, but the front lip and the rear lip come down further. I didn't like how the side skirt wasn't quite low enough, even though there's no side skirt currently in the car, but I prefer this over putting side skirts on because I do have the Zender ones that are big enough to match everything, so I just left it open for right now. So that is what it is. And the rear, one of my prized possessions, this is an OEM Votex rear lip, and it just makes the back of this car look so good. The back of this car is just killer. With the Remus popping out, absolutely perfect. Yeah, one of my best finds ever. I got this rear lip for €100 shipped when I was living in Germany. These things go for insane prices. I think there's only like 7 or 8 in the States, I've been told. But yeah, prized possession. I love this thing. I do have the Zender rear lip, I showed up there, for this car as well. But I don't know if I'm gonna like the Zender one more than this one. So we might have Zender front bumper, Zender side skirts, and keep the Votex rear lip because the Votex rear lip just looks so good. I will test fit the Zender one and see which one I like better, but I know this one just looks perfect on the car, and I don't know if the Zender will look better than this one, but we shall see. But yeah, that's the overall look of the wagon currently. Very simple, very OEM plus, but it looks very like elegant, and I love how this car looks. I do have a hatch spoiler that was my Bora wagon. Somewhere in there, which I might put on this car. I might wait until I have the Zender one. We'll see. But other than that, it's simple. KW suspension, Porsche Cayenne wheels. The car looks very, very good, and it's very simple. Very OEM plus, and just, again, simple. Which again, I love how simple this car is, and it looks so, so good. But I am very, very excited to see how the Zender bumper looks on this car and spice up a little bit. And the cool thing is, since it's an entire bumper and there's no like molding or cutting like that, we can always swap between that bumper to stock bumper whenever I want it. So nothing's permanently being changed here. I also want to quickly note, I found a color that I'm almost certain I'm gonna wrap this car in. Now, I love the black when it's clean, and like right now, the car looks so mean, but the black also kind of sucks. It's always dirty. You see everything on it, and it just gets tiring. I love how the car looks now, which is why I'm considering wrapping the car to keep the black underneath to go back to it later on. But I do want to change it up a little bit, and I found a color. I'm going to post on the Patreon today. I found a color that I think would look incredible on this car, and probably the only wagon in that color. I don't know about Mark IV, but I think the only wagon in this color, and I think it would look sick. Plus the color option I would do for the wheels, I think it would be really, really nice on the car. This thing is a beast, an actual beast. And over here, we've got every lip. And somewhere in the house, maybe I have the side screws out to find. We'll get those next. Zender Wagon bumper. Bang! All right, so I know I've showed all these pieces before a long time ago, but seeing them all out again has me so excited. Look at this front bumper. I think one of the best looking aftermarket Mark IV bumpers around. And there's not very many of them, which is cool. You guys know I love rare stuff, and this is definitely that. And again, my favorite part about this one is it keeps the factory molding line. We will lose the marker that we have on the American bumper, but that's not a big deal. The fact that it has the molding line like factory to match the side molding and the rear bumper is huge. So that in itself is an amazing touch on the bumper. Other than that, very, very aggressive. Like I said, this thing is just like, it's beefy. It's all fiberglass, but like this is one of the most solid bumpers I've ever seen. So that is the Zender VWA front bumper right there. We have the side skirts over here. You can see it's right there and right there. Zender concept, very, very cool logo. I'm missing the one for this one and for this, but I can get new ones. And then this right here is the Zender VWA Wagon new old stock rear lip. Again, I don't know if I quite love the design more than the Votex one, but either way, it's a new old stock piece for a wagon. Very, very rare. And it's a cool piece to have. Aside from these three here, that's all the Zender stuff, I also found the rear spoiler I had on my VWA wagon. Very, very cool. It's not Zender, but still cool piece. And I found my spare study mirror, which actually happens to be in nudie black already. So if I want to put it on the car now, I could. But honestly, I don't mind the two full size. So if I want this, I have it. But if not, not a big deal. Other than that, though, the body pieces here are very, very cool. And I know I don't have the complete brochure car, every piece that car had on it, but I have, I think, the biggest pieces, the front bumper, the rear lip, and the side skirts, at least to complete the outside of the car, minus the rear spoiler. But again, having these pieces here is huge, and I think will look so, so good on the car. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and test with some pieces and see how the kit looks on the wagon. I do also want to note, this bumper does not have the guides like a stock Mark IV bumper does, so I'm going to add those to the side. It does have these ones you can screw to the fender liner, but we need this to actually align it properly. So for now, probably just use some tape to hold it on. There is this mounting piece here. This one broke. The bumper is going to need some body work. You can see there's some stuff down there. It's a very old bumper. The fact that it's still in one piece is a miracle in itself, but she does need some love. Side skirts as well, I'll tape on. I'm not going to glue them to the car just yet, and that one just pops in. So that's easy. This is tape. That's tape, and should be fine. All right, little side by side, OEM US spec bumper with the Rieger front lip versus the Zender front bumper. Honestly, they look about the same depths. Maybe this one, actually no, well, are they even up here? Yeah, they're even. It looks like actually this one sits lower than this one. The plan is to put the car in air because I want the car to sit flat to the ground, but I don't want to drive that low. So with this actually being a little bit higher, that's good for static driving. Knock, you can see this one has definitely seen the ground a handful of times. So with the car being on air and a little bit higher, this will still work out no problem. And maybe like we can do a little carbon fiber splitter on the bottom possibly. We'll see. I gotta figure out what I want to do with this because the original car, there was a bar that went across here at some point, so we took the bar out and smoothed it over. So there was a little bar went through here, and also there's like mesh back here. So I gotta decide what I want to do with the bumper exactly in terms of fully finishing it. Whether I want to do some sort of mesh in here or mesh up here or leave it wide open. We'll have to see it on the car. And then, like I was saying earlier, the stock bumper has these little guides, this one and this one, to fit onto the body of the car. They'll hold the bumper tight to the body lines, whereas this one has nothing. And I don't see anything that has ever been there at all, just these ones back here, so maybe that's it. We have this one, the stock bumper has these ones, 1, 2, and 3, where this one does not have any of those at all. And I don't see any sound that were there before. So nothing here, 1, 2, well, they put a hole straight down, but this one got broke off, and then nothing here. So we'll see how it mounts. I mean, like I said, I don't see anything here at all, or has there ever been anything in there. We'll see how it sits in the car with just this one, and these. We may have to try to transfer this kind of stuff to this one, or maybe it works like this, or, well, I see this one down here. We have the bottom one, we have one there. We don't have that one. So overall, we have like half of the actual mounting spots we need. But again, that's what you deal with when you have stuff from the early 2000s that's all fiberglass and been passed around all over the country. This was actually Mad's bumper at one point. So this has been in the UK, it's been all over Europe, and now it's in the States. So the fact that it's in one piece at all is kind of mind-blowing. So gotta work with what we got. So surprisingly enough, the bumper went on with really no trouble at all. Only thing I had to do was pull off the US like foam piece right here that goes in the rebar, because I wasn't sure if this bumper, being a Euro spec bumper for a Bora, would fit over the US rebar, because they are different. But as you can see, she's on there, and it looks so good. Now, of course, it being silver, it doesn't match the car, but if it was painted black right now, it would look so mean and so sleek on the car. I'm a fan. 100%, I'm a fan. And surprisingly enough, for being early 2000s fiberglass, the body lines match up incredibly well. And also only having this tab here mounted in, and a couple on this side and a couple on that side, for only having like a fraction of our mounting thing actually bolted up, the bumper fits very, very well. Now on the corners here, you can see a little bit stuck out. I need to drill a new hole to push this in further like so, but then you can see it lines up no problem. So very easy fix right there. And then same on this side. Just stuck out a little bit, but once you put a new hole, push it in, that'll be good. And then I'll tighten up this gap right here. You can see it pushes in like so. Other than that, it's good. For early 2000s fiberglass, and this thing fits very nice. I do want to get mesh down here. I don't like seeing through this. Condenser I don't mind so much, but definitely something for here and something for there to kind of cover that up. Fits nice, very aggressive. This is probably the only Zender bumper in the States. Like I said, I've only seen a handful of these bumpers on actual Boras in Europe somewhere, but in terms of in the States, this might be the only one, which is kind of cool. I like the little bit of the little indent for the plate right there, but then still keeping the molding on the side. It's good. It's very, very good. Very aggressive, but also very clean and OEM looking. I do think I might want to do like a carbon fiber splitter or some sort of splitter on the bottom to bring it down just a little bit more, but overall, I am pleased with that, and I love it. Now, one thing that actually surprised me, I pulled the emblem out of the stock grill, so stock Mark IV size right here. This is actually much bigger than the one for the Zender bumper. So I don't know what size this is. It might be Mark III, which would be weird to use that when it's a Mark IV, but this one is too big. So I'll have to figure that out. Let me go ahead and actually close the hood and get a more complete look here. You can see I put the factory pull tab from that grill onto this one. So that fits nicely. That fits very nice. So from passenger side, from straight on in the front, and then from driver's side. It's a sick bumper. I like this bumper a lot. It's very subtle, but still aggressive, and most people will have no idea what this is, because it's not Bora R, it's not like R32 front end swap. It just looks good. I love how just square and boxy everything is. And again, it just fits so nice. I'm very, very blown away. And over here, not having the guides, this little lip just slides on the top and it holds it no problem. So once you have the bolts here and the rest of the bumper bolts in the front, that doesn't even matter at all. The fitment's still good. So not even a big deal. I am blown away by fitment on this thing. It's actually really, really good. So we need body work for the bumper. Gotta smooth everything out. We need mesh for down here, something down there. We need more tabs added back on, so that one's missing. And the ones at the bottom don't actually line up all the way. We need to drill some new holes on the side here so this gap goes in further. And then some paint and she's good. I think I will go through and have this one paint matched in black to the car. That way we can see the entire car black with the kit on it. And then later on wrap over it. But this thing's gonna look so mean on the car. And it's so unique. I keep staring at it. And then also up here, gotta figure out what to do for this section and an emblem. I think maybe gloss black, like fine mesh for this one, this one, this one, and up here would go very nicely on the car. Anything else, leave some suggestions down below, but I think a very like nice small mesh gloss black inside there would complete the look of the bumper. All right, so let's do side skirts and a rear lip, and then we can see the entire car Zender kitted out. All right, the kit is nearly completely put on the car. You can see side skirts mocked up right there. We did, however, run into an issue with the rear lip, which I thought might be the case because of where the exhaust tip sits. Where on the Vortex rear lip, you can see it comes up right there, that little gap, where the exhaust sits right inside there. Whereas on the Zender rear lip, you can see it's just flat across the entire bottom. However, there is this line marked out right here, which looks to be a cutout for an exhaust tip. If you aren't running like a downturn exhaust tip back here, you need the cutout to fit your exhaust tip out the back, which is exactly what I would need for this car. So currently we cannot put the Zender rear lip on the back of the car because the muffler is actually in the way, which again, if I have to stay with the Vortex rear lip in the back of the car, it's not a big deal. I love this rear lip. This one's also very, very cool, but I will need to modify it a little bit. And even then, I'm not sure if I like this one more than this one, but seeing it now is actually growing on me. And it would be cool to have the full Zender kit on every part of the car, but we'll see. So not today, but at some point I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna cut this whole section right here that's been outlined out. That way the Remus tip fits through here perfectly. So not today, but sometime probably soon, I'm gonna have to go through and cut this little section that's been outlined out. That way the Remus tips actually fit and sit perfectly on the back side of this lip, and then it'll be good to go. We can actually test fit on the car and see how I like the Zender rear lip versus the Vortex rear lip. Both will look cool, and it will be cool to have the entire Zender kit in the car, but ultimately I might like this one more, but once it's painted, we'll have to see. Now, before any of you ask me, regardless of which lip I pick for the wagon, whether it's the Zender one or it's the Vortex one, the other lip is not for sale. Neither one will leave my possession. Sorry. All right, the beautiful Vortex rear lip reinstalled on the back, and that's pretty much it. This is what will be our Zender concept US spec Jetta Wagon, which I think is pretty cool, minus the rear lip for right now, but I will go through, cut this one and make it fit so we have the entire body kit on the car. Like I said, it's still missing the rear hatch spoiler, pedals, shift knob, there's wheels for the car, there's lowering springs. If I wanted the full car, but just to have the front bumper, the skirts, and the rear lip, I think is huge. And I gotta say, from this angle right here, it's so good. Even being mismatched right now in colors, it still looks so good. I couldn't imagine everything painted black and just, whew, it looks good. So I gotta find a body shop, get the front bumper all worked out, new tab, figure out the mesh, that kind of stuff, and the emblem. Side skirts are fine, the rear lip needs to be cut, and then paint everything, slap it on the car. But look how much more aggressive it looks. Now granted, this bumper I think looks very good on the car. I love the stock Jetta front end, I love this front lip, all this is great, but this looks so unique and it just changes the look of the car just enough, and it just, I love it. This angle right here, this thing looks so good. Plus the Porsche wheels and eventually having some air, lowering the car flat to the ground. Love me the wagon. You know, I had my mind fully made up on wrapping this car, which I still probably will because a new color would be so good on this car. But when I stand back and look at the black, it looks so clean. I just love it. The black looks fantastic when it's clean. It's a pain to upkeep with this car because it's always filthy. But when it is clean for that brief 15 minutes, I mean, it does look really, really good in the black. All right, it's getting dark. I've been sitting here for like 15 minutes. Just, it came out so good. And I love how the Vortex rear lip flows with the Zender pieces. It's just, the wagon's looking really, really spicy. And again, this front bumper has been all over the world. My buddy Mads had it in the Netherlands, then went to the UK, then back to Germany with me, and now it's in the States. And I mean, this thing's just been all over the place. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave some comments down below. What do we think of these Zender pieces on the wagon? As you guys can tell, I'm a big fan. I think it looks epic, but leave some comments down below. As always, do not forget, be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.